With playing on so many different type of builds, I gotta know a lot of different dribble moves. And with the new season being here, they added some animations to the game and brung back animations that we used to have in old 2Ks. But y'all guys know I always put y'all on to the best dribble moves, no matter if you're on a build with high ball control or a build with low ball control. There's gonna be something in today's video to help you. Even with the small guards, y'all know with the small guards, you can end up rocking out from 85 ball control all the way to 92 and really go crazy on this game. But just know it's gonna be a lot of variety in this video, especially for my big guards, having that 85 ball control, 86 ball control. Even if you got a 70 ball control, there's something in here for you. So those small guards to the big guards, and we can't forget about the 6'10s. The 6'10s all the way to the 7'4s. Yes, the 7'4s. If you want to be able to dribble on your 7'4", there's going to be a few animations that you want to definitely put on your build. And even with the 6'10, 6'11s, y'all know y'all been going crazy lately with those builds. But first off, let's get into the controller settings. As of our pro stick function, you got to make sure you got that on default no matter what. But as of passive dribble hand switch, disable this. Turn this off. This is when you stand still and the ball just randomly switch your hand. Take that off. And the next thing you want to disable is auto lob to a moving receiver. This might be one of the most annoying things, especially a lot of people don't know about it, that you literally will throw an auto lob when you don't have to. But if you haven't yet, make sure y'all boys drop a like on the video. And make sure y'all boys subscribe as well if y'all haven't yet, and turn on post notifications. Now with the new animations that's been added to this season, the first thing we're going to start off with is Jaime Hopkins Jr. Now he has a dribble style added into NBA 2K26. But I'm gonna hopping in the mic court and testing out this dribble style and let y'all know. This is a little bit kind of slow. I'm gonna be honest, this might be the most pointless dribble style in the game. You can't explode over it, you can't misdirection cross out of it. This is maybe the worst dribble style in the game, hands down. Like, I can do my standstill, but as of trying to explode out of it, it's pointless. And for a dribble move they brung back, we have Steve Francis back in the game. At first, at the beginning of the year, there was no Steve Francis, and everybody thought Steve Francis was not in NBA 2K26. Let's see what this thing is. Let's see you got. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel. That's SGA. The speed is not that fast. Even with me having John Morant dribble style, it's still not as fast as using Curry. For a new breakdown combo, they added Kobe Bryant, which you need to have an 88 ball control to unlock, which this would be a cool little walk back animation if you want to do it. Then we got LaMelo Ball crossover. Now, LaMelo Ball crossover similar to Luka or even Devin Booker. Then we got the step back of Andrew Wiggins. Now, this one I don't really feel like it's going to be needed because there's way better step backs in the game than that. But when it comes to the go-to shots, these are some of the best go-to shots you can use. Now, for a small guard, I like using Darius Garland. One of my favorite go-to shots I've been using for the past few years. I definitely recommend you to try this out, especially if you got an 84 mid-range. Now, Jalen Suggs is one of those ones that started out at the beginning of the year. Gotta have a low mid-range, low three-pointer, and you can get it, and you can really combo up with it. Now, if you're in those bigger builds, or even a 6'5", or even if you're on a 6'10" build, a lot of people use Kevin Durant go-to shot because you get a crazy speed boost animation out of it, and it lunges you forward, and you also can do that new LeBron James hop back out of it. But a go-to shot that get real shifty with it, and it got a nice little hop step. Bryce Sinback, this is one of those ones that you don't want to sleep on. You don't have to have a high mid-range or three-pointer, 79 to get the job done. And then this one is very similar to Bryce Sinback. All you gotta have is an 80 mid-range or three-pointer. It has a good step back to his offhand. So if you like doing step backs, things like that, these are mostly going to be some step backs that you're going to like, especially like Jordan Poole. If you want to get real shifty and you want to try something different, definitely try out Jordan Poole go-to shot. He got a variety of animations in his package. Then we got the John Morant. Now, John Morant, you need an 82 mid-range, but it's a fast animation. Like, this is somewhat similar to his breakdown combo, but it literally is super fast. If you know how to combo with it, you can really go crazy. Then we got Kyle Kuzma. This is one I used in my Luka Doncic video. I got a decent amount of ankle breakers with this, and you only need a 68 three-pointer or mid-range. Now, y'all know Jimmy Butler and Devin Booker are literally about the same. They have basically the same animation. They do the same side step. They're literally identical. Only thing that's going to be different is the rating, which you need. Now, if you're in those taller builds and you don't really get that much, which is only a 79 mid-range or three-pointer, you get a similar somewhat speed boost to Kevin Durant, but this is one on the lower end if you're even interested in even having a go-to shot. But now when it comes to hop jumpers, I've been testing out a lot of hop jumpers. Even lately, I used Stephen Curry hop jumper, and his hop jumper is it's nice. If you know how to activate his hop jumper, it's going to be very hard to guard. Same thing with Devin Booker. Devin Booker has a hop jumper that's more of a retreat hop jumper to separate himself from a defender, and it gets an 86 mid-range or three-pointer to unlock. The same thing, I use normal. A lot of people sleep on normal hop jumper because you can use it on any build. So the timing and everything doesn't really change if you switch builds from a 7-footer to a small guard. It got the same animation similar to Anthony Edwards, which you need an 80 mid-range. Then you got Jordan Clarkson. Now, if you like doing hop jumpers to like your offhand, you're going to get the best animations to your offhand with using Jordan Clarkson, which you only need an 83 mid-range or three-pointer. Now we got Nikola Jokic. Now for my big builds, This is one of the ones that you see everybody using that's rhythm shooting with him, or even using Dirk, and they only have a few different animations, but also the only thing that's different is the rating of having a 78 and an 84. Then you got Jason Tatum. Now, if you're someone that likes to work out in like the mid-range or something like that, and you want to really get in your bag, Jason Tatum is one of those ones you want to put in your arsenal because it does create a nice space, and you could get a decent amount of ankle breakers. The same thing with DeMar DeRozan. Now, he got a few snatchback, step back animations in it and side steps. It's just based on your preference as you choose these. And then you got CP3. Now, CP3, you can do the CP3 speed boost out of it, like a hop step speed boost, and it gets you a nice boost off of it so you can get past your defender. Now that I just showed you some of the best go-to shots and hop jumpers, let's get into the actual dribble styles. Now, it's a lot of dribble styles in the game, but it's only like 5 dribble styles that's worth it. And we know Ja Morant is the #1 dribble style when it comes to small guard, which you only need to have an 85 speed with ball. We do have Darius Garland in the game, but it's better to use Ja Morant over Darius Garland. Hey, I'm gonna be honest, Darius Garland is still fast, but it's not faster than Ja Morant and not smooth enough. Now, if you're someone that wants value, hey, Zach LaVine. If you're on a 6'6", 6'8", use Zach LaVine, one of the best dribble styles you can use. And then if you want to end up trying something different than Zach LaVine, DeJounte Murray. But you need to have a 86 speed with ball to use DeJounte Murray. So any build basically under 6'8" can use this dribble style. You can use 6'6", 6'5", and even a 6'7". But when it comes to my taller builds, the speed with ball, the minimum that you need is 40, but I would want the sweet spot of 50 to end up getting Giannis is one of the fastest ones to use. But if you don't really have a high speed with ball, normal is the best bet I can tell you to use when it comes to even getting a dribble style. Now, when it comes to the dribble styles, you can really go crazy, but as of the signature SIZEUPS, there's only a few that I can recommend that can get the job done. Most people are going to use Stephen Curry. If you just seen how I was using Steve Francis could be a hit or miss, but Stephen Curry is going to be that dominant #1, which you only need a 92 ball handle to unlock this. Now, when it comes to Trae Young, this is a 50-50. A lot of people don't really like using Trae Young. They only like using Trae Young just, you know what I'm saying, if they want to do a standstill, but it's really no point because SIZEUPS standstill is not really that much effective based on how you're moving. Now, when it comes to the next one, Scoot Henderson. Now, I would recommend this if you're on a taller build. You can use it on a small build if you want to, but if you're on a taller build, like the 6'5", 6'6", or even 6'7", you got an 80 ball control, try out Scoot Henderson if you don't like using T-Mac. But in my opinion, I feel like T-Mac is the best SIZEUP to use, especially on those bigger builds like the 6'8", 6'7", and 6'6" builds. It gives you the best launch anyway. Now, when it comes to the bigger builds, you could use Kevin Durant. Now, if you got a 70 ball control, use Kevin Durant. I get a nice amount of space with using Kevin Durant, especially if you're in a build that has a low ball control, you need something to get open. Now, Giannis is one of those ones that it's mostly like when you flick and then you do a cross launch and you run. It's not mostly going to be anything that you do standstill, just flick once and move and you'll get a nice animation. The same thing with using pro or even normal. Now, if you got a lower ball control, use like normal. But if you got at least a 70, try Kevin Durant and try pro as the SIZEUPS. Now that I just gave y'all some of the best SIZEUPS, we can get into the breakdown combos. Now, a lot of y'all know the best breakdown combo in the game is Devin Booker. If you want to get crabs and you want to end up getting past your defender and getting behind you, Devin Booker is #1. Almost all the competitive players or some of the best players are using Devin Booker. All you need is to have an 85 ball control and be under 6'10", and you'll be able to use this move. Now, y'all know Jordan Poole is still one of my favorites. If you like to combo up and really get in your bag, try Jordan Poole. All you need is to have an 80 ball control and be under 6'10" as well. Now, Ja Morant is one of those ones I would say it's cool, but you can get some better flavor with it. Like, it's one of those ones, like, it's there, but hey, Paul George, Kyrie Irving, those two are very similar. You can crab people off those. When I say crab them, you can really crab people off those. The same thing, especially when you on a bigger build, you can use pro. Now, if you're on those escapes, Kemba Walker, 89 ball control, and you gotta be under 6'5". Now, this is the one that's being used the most on small guards. So if you're in a small guard build, most of the time, you're gonna see somebody use Kemba Walker. 90% of the time it's Kemba, but if you wanna end up seeing somebody, it's like a low percent chance they're gonna use Trae Young versus Kemba. Kemba is just the #1 as of escapes to use on this game. If you wanna use Trae Young, it's cool, he got a nice little crab animation, but Kemba's #1, and then a lot of people just start using Kyrie Irving. This dribble escape move has been making a lot of noise lately that I've been seeing. Like, it's a nice little wave of people that's going to start using Kyrie, especially with the 90 ball control, because it can get past defenders and you can end up getting an easy blow by almost every time. But if you want to try something different and you're on a bigger build, even on a smaller build, 86 ball handle, James Harden, you got a lot of variety when it comes to using James Harden. He got a lot of different unique animations. Then we got Paul George, and Paul George and Jimmy Butler, those two combined. Jimmy Butler has more sway. Paul George is more tight when it comes to the ball handling. He doesn't really sway as much, but he still can break ankles and things like that. Now, you can end up using pro as as well. So pro is mostly going to be for my bigger dudes. So you on those builds that got 70 ball control, like I told you, you're gonna rock out with pro. But if you don't even got that and you just got the bare minimum almost, use normal. Those are going to be somewhat of the ones you want to mess with. Normal, pro. If you got anything under a 70, you got a 40 at least, use normal. There's no other way to end up telling you, or try out basic, but I will usually use normal when it comes to using those animations. And I just gave y'all some of the best escapes to use on y'all builds. I'm gonna end up giving y'all some of the best combo moves in the game. And a lot of you guys been telling me like, oh, how do you activate a combo move? And I got y'all, I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. But for me, the best combo move in the game is pro. Pro combo move is maybe my favorite to use, which you only need to have a 70 ball control, and you can use it on almost every build. Then you gotta end up using Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is cool. You only gotta have an 85 ball control to use it and be under 6'10". Then we got Jason Tatum. Now Jason Tatum is nice, 75 ball control. He sway back and forth. Gotta be under 6'10" to use it. And then John Morant is one of those ones you just gotta try out. If you feel comfortable using John Morant, use John Morant. But I definitely would say pro is better. So when it comes to doing combo moves, this is more of an up the court motion. So as you go up the court, you can let go R2 and flick your right stick up 2 times. Once you flick up your right stick 2 times, it will give you a double crossover in between the legs, behind the back. All you're doing is run up the court, let go of R2, flick your right stick up 2 times, and it will give you the animation every single time. Now, when it comes to the best crossovers to use in NBA 2K26, hey, Lonzo Ball is #1. We all know that Lonzo Ball is mostly going to be #1 unless you got De'Aaron Fox crossover if you're a starter 4. Now, when it comes to the next one that's similar to De'Aaron Fox, Chris Paul. Chris Paul is the closest that you might get to a De'Aaron Fox if you're not a starter 4 rep, or Anthony Edwards. Chris Paul, Anthony Edwards are the closest you're gonna get to De'Aaron Fox if you're not a starter 4. Then we got Luka Doncic. Now Luka Doncic's crossover is very similar to another person's crossover, and it's right under him, Devin Booker. Now you can choose between Devin Booker, Luka Doncic. It's all about preference. They're very similar. It's just based on which one you like the most. And then I like using pro, especially on my bigger builds that got at least a 70 ball control, like my KD build. But if you're on those bigger builds like the 7-footers, the 7'4"s, the best I can tell you to use is normal and basic. And I prefer using normal over using basic when it comes to being on those 7'4"s. But basic still can get the job done if you can't get normal crossover. And with it being a lot of variety of crossovers, a lot of people get stuck to one. But as of when it comes to these actual behind the backs, there's a decent amount. Now Trae Young is maybe top 2 to me, maybe top 3 to me when it comes to behind the backs in NBA 2K26, especially when it comes to the small guard. Everybody's going to use Trae Young, you're going to use Curry and stuff like that, but Trae Young is one of those ones that's up there, which you only need a 92 ball control. Same thing with Stephen Curry. Everybody likes Stephen Curry because the Curry slide is still OP. You still can make people slide out the way. So Stephen Curry is still going to be up there. And then if you want something similar to Stephen Curry and it's not Curry and you want a bigger build, SGA. The SGA slide is about similar to the Curry slide or Steve Francis behind the back. I'm telling you, you don't want to sleep on those, but also Kobe White. Those are going to be maybe the top 4 behind the backs that you're going to see on the game. Kobe White, Stephen Curry, SGA, and even Trae Young. But I even see people switch it up a little bit. They use DeMar DeRozan behind the back, and I was using this for a nice little minute since it does have a great explosive behind the back and a decent up the court behind the back, like moving behind the back. But as a standstill, it's good for the behind the back spam. Like if you want to do it behind the back and you want to spam behind the backs, like actually stand still, you got the best animation to use would be DeMar DeRozan. Then we got Darius Garland. Now a lot of people do sleep on Darius Garland and it's underrated. All you need is 84 ball control since everybody using Curry slide. You get a good behind the back as a standing, you get a good moving behind the back, and you get a good secondary moving behind the back. And then if you want to use Scottie Pippen, this is a hit or miss for me. This is only good for transition behind the back. So if you want a fast transition behind the back with a 75 ball control, use Scottie Pippen. Then if you want one that's really kind of underrated, Devin Booker. Devin Booker, you don't really have to have super high. All you need is an 85 ball control to unlock, and you'll be able to use this move, and you don't have to be anything super high. Like, you really could get this on almost every build in the game other than like a 6'9" build deck. Only gets like an 80 ball control. Then you got pro behind the back. This is mostly going to be like my KD build, my like bigger build, 6'11", 7-footers. As long as you got a 70 ball control, you can do this. And it's actually a good behind the back to use, especially moving up the court. Now, if you don't really got a high ball control, like I told you, 40 is the bare minimum that you're gonna have for dribbling. Like, it's at the lowest just to get normal, and 55 is just like, okay, it's just right there. But if you got any more cool behind the backs y'all want me to try out, definitely drop them down in the comment section. But when it comes to spins, there's only like 4 spins that I like, and it's to get the Pro 4 spin, and that's that spin animation you just seen. It's literally the smooth spin animation that you can break out of right here. That's what you can get on so many different type of builds, of small builds, big builds. The only thing that's going to be different is the rating that you unlock them at and the actual moving up the court spin. You can get it for Penny Hardaway, you can get it with Steve Nash, you can get a similar one with Kevin Durant, but it's not exactly the same, but it's somewhat decent when it comes to the other ones. Then you can end up using DeMar DeRozan, which gets the spin as well. There's about 4 actual spins that get the Pro 4 spin to get the spin back and things like that if you want that animation. And like I said, not only small guards and big guards can get this, you can get this on any build, even a 7'4", which you only need a 40 ball control to be able to get this spin back. It's a great move to have, especially once you learn the mechanics and know how to do the spin back. It creates a lot of space because it's going to throw a defender off. Now when it comes to the best hesitations, Kobe White, I see a lot of guards use Kobe White. I try to use Kobe White, but I'm not really messing with it because I like the momentum cross. The momentum cross is kind of iffy with it. I prefer using Jason Tatum over using Kobe White. Jason Tatum and Kobe White are very similar. A lot of people don't know they're very similar. The only thing that's different that you can momentum better with Jason Tatum hesitation. And if you don't know, hesitations affect your actual momentum across the NBA 2K26. And with Jason Tatum, all I need is a 75 ball handle. Now with Ja Morant has a decent one. It has a nice let in and out, but also he has a great moving hesitation, which you need an 86 ball control. And then Kevin Durant. Now with Kevin Durant, you can momentum out of it very well, even if you don't want to use it on like a 6'10". You want to use it on a 6'5", a 6'8", or a 6'7". It only costs 70 like ball control. It's not gonna be that much, but a lot of ones that's gonna be slept on as well. Normal. You can momentum out of normal if you don't want to end up using it on your 6'8". If you don't want to use Jason Tatum, I prefer you use Jason Tatum. To be honest, it's a quick, smooth momentum. A lot of people will sleep on Jason Tatum hesitation. Now when it comes to the best step backs, y'all know there's 2 victorious step backs in the game right now, and Devin Booker is number 1. All you need is an 85 ball control and be under 6'10", and you can do Devin Booker. But if you want to end up having, you know what I'm saying, you got a 70 ball control, you can get away with using Vince Carter as long as you're under 6'10". Vince Carter and Devin Booker is the number 1 and 2 best step backs in the game, hands down. Then we got Pro. I use Pro especially on my bigger builds like my KD build, my 6'11", and my 6'10". It creates a lot of space off that one step back because it throws a lot of defenders off space. But also Joel Embiid. Now, if you got a lower ball control, 55, use Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is very similar to some other ones like normal, but as of this one, Stephen Curry, this is one of those ones if you want to be a little bit different. You want to, you know what I'm saying, sauce up, do something different than everybody else, and you want to have something in your bag. The same thing when it comes to Kyrie Irving. Now, if you want to do the 2K25 step back from last year, the snatch back, you want to use Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving's snatchback is actually nice, but hey, it's not going to be as much as effective compared to using Devin Booker or even using Vince Carter. Then we got Jason Tatum, which you only need to have a 75 ball control under 6'10". This is more for like swag. If you want to end up trying something different, it is effective, but if you want to try animation that's different, try Jason Tatum, try James Harden. James Harden animation is supposed to be on Kevin Durant, and it's crazy that I can't get James Harden animation on my KD build since Kevin Durant has that animation. Then we got normal. This is literally the last of the last. Normal, when it comes to step back, you're going to get the same thing when you get it with Joel Embiid. It's just based on if you got a 40 ball control or a 55 ball control. Now we're going to get into the best triple threat in the game, and it's only one that you should use. If you want the best triple threat in the game, Kobe Bryant, hands down. It's been like this for the last maybe 5 years. Put Kobe Bryant on. If you want to be able to, you know what I'm saying, create some space or even like get past a defender or even have the AI sag off you and you do a few jab steps, Kobe Bryant is the actual triple threat that you need to use. Now, I just gave y'all a lot of sauce for coming to the best dribble moves, the newest SIGS that's in the game. Make sure y'all boys drop a like for me. That's the one. Also subscribe if y'all haven't yet. I'm going to see y'all boys in the next one. And don't forget to watch one of the 2 videos on the screen, man.